is you swing your arms opposite of what your legs are doing. So when your right foot is forward, your left arm is forward, or your left hand is forward. Your upper body is opposing what your lower body is doing, okay? And that's your body's way of looking for balance. I don't very often see people walk like this.
Goose step.
It's hard to do. To walk with your right to right and your left to left. You have to think about it. At least I have to think about it. Your body is always looking for balance. So it's going to, your right shoulder and arm is going to be going forward as your left is going forward. So with that in mind, that's kind of how I'm going to progress with this test, this walk. And the thing is probably going to, be important is to kind of come up with a timing that seems appropriate, right? I don't want to do I usually end up doing these really broad arm swings, and I don't want to do that with this guy. So I'm going to keep it very, very minimal. If this hip is forward, then this shoulder is back. Okay? So that means that the pelvis is turned away from me, but now the chest is open to me because we've got that counter happening, okay? So I'm going to do something very sort of understated here with the arm, but I will do something that gives it a bit of character. So this shoulder over here, this is the further shoulder, so it's coming forward with the right leg. Okay? In this low point, I imagine that it's going to, maybe his arm swings just a little bit more. And maybe in the low point, his arm bends just a little bit too. There's his shoulder, his chest is open to me. So maybe I have his arm sort of straight here, or not straight, but it's straighter. And here I'm going to bend it more. So maybe this hand comes up a little bit. And now as he comes through the passing position, maybe I straighten it a little bit as he comes through the passing position, because he's going up. And then maybe I drag the hand behind it like this. And here's the shoulder. The shoulder is swinging forward, right? So it was back here, and now it's going to swing this way. And I want to still keep a bend on it, but maybe I straighten it. Same thing for this hand. Maybe this hand starts to kind of come back and is actually eclipsed by the body in that passing position. I'm going to solve some of these problems. I want to drag the chest in as the nose goes down. Just going to swing like that. So here's my high point, and I think with this high point, that means that this leg is coming forward. It's going to start to turn the pelvis more towards me, And the fact that the shoulder is going this way and the other shoulder is going this way means that the upper body is turning away from me now. You see a little bit of the elbow on the other side. Okay, so we're going to see maybe a little bit more back here, just a touch. Okay, so now I've got the next contact, and this is kind of why I want to do the arms by themselves, because they're going to not totally be in the same place. So maybe what I can do here is bring this arm up a little bit more. But I know that the shoulder has to come down because the upper body is coming down. So this shoulder over here is swinging back. This arm is still coming up. I'm going to delay this head.
This is like it goes all the way. Is this like the arm's highest point, or the most extended? Is right before the low point?
I think so. I mean, I think what I did in this contact was I actually had it the furthest back, like the elbow. And it looked like I had the low point out a little bit further. So, so maybe that's my low point, but you may actually arrive at a different place with your arms. But I think for me, the low is actually the furthest that I'm going to allow it to go before it changes direction.
Because the arms are more of a reaction.
What's that?
Because the arms are more of a reaction to the stepping, so they might not be like the low and high points might not have those.
Yeah, yeah. I think they should. You know, you should try to get them offset. So here's my low here, and what I may actually do here is bend the arm here, but let the hand kind of come up this way. Just kind of trying some things. So keeping it kind of like this, and then bending it a little bit more. Then for this elbow, maybe I do the same kind of thing. I allow it to squash just a little bit right there. So that through the passing position, I can straighten it. So here is my passing position here. So now I'm going to drag this shoulder this way, and I'm going to straighten this elbow back like this. And then I'm going to straighten this elbow the same way as it comes forward. So this is going back, this is going forward. Now the tricky thing about this is I've got one drawing to get back into this original contact. So that's a very important thing to, pay attention to. So I've got to get from that passing to this contact, which it seems like I'll be able to do. But, just take a look at the shoulder. The shoulder is right here, and it's kind of turning back now, okay? So that's one thing to make sure that you're doing. It's getting this kind of back and forth, this swivel going on. Some people, what they'll do, if you've been animating for a while and you make a stylistic choice, then I'd say okay, but while we're learning this stuff, some people will just kind of imagine that the shoulder is stuck here like a donkey tail on his butt or something, and it just pivots right there. But that's not really the case. There is a little bit of back and forth in the upper body, so that's going to cause the shoulder to go back and forth. All right, so now we kind of want to work that hand back into this arm back into that original contact. So I want to make sure that I'm animating that arm back into that contact. Okay. I'm maybe going to have a little bit, maybe this ends up being a little more extreme than it needs to be, but we'll see what it looks like. Okay. Maybe throw a hat on him. Okay, and after I get his hat on, we'll go test it, and then what we'll do is I'll try and address the issue of getting him to stop. Alright. Okay, so let's go test it again. Make sure that the arms and all that are working.